Welcome back, dreamer. Tonight, we will be arriving at the ocean beneath the stars, where your body softens, your spirit listens, and your astral path begins to open. In this moment, sleep is more than rest. It is an astral passage beyond the veil. Before you get into your bed and relax, feel free to like the video and subscribe for future astral sleep journeys. Now, close your eyes. Let everything begin to fade. The weight of your arms, the rhythm of your chest, even the lingering thoughts of today, allow them to float gently into the background. Take a slow breath in and let it out with ease. Feel your body release. Each inhale brings softness. Each exhale, surrender. Tonight, you are leaving the waking world behind, not in haste, but in grace, drifting, not falling. As your breath slows, your astral senses begin to rise. You are no longer bound to the gravity of the day. You are stepping softly into the ocean beneath the stars. The space around you is still, but not silent. Above, a cosmic sky stretches beyond sight, vast and impossibly close. Stars shimmer like embers caught in velvet. They don't just light the sky, they breathe. There is no land beneath your feet, no ground to define where you stand, only a soft haze of violet mist swirling gently beneath you like liquid silk. It glows faintly with every breath you take, as though echoing your presence. You move without walking, a gentle glide through the starlit atmosphere. Every step you do not take carries you forward. This is the language of the astral realm. Trust, not force. In the distance you feel it, the presence of something vast. It calls to you not with sound, but with pull, the ocean beneath the stars. You cannot yet see it, but it already knows you're coming. Your sleep responds to its rhythm, your breath, your stillness. They all begin to shift toward the current. Above, stars begin to fall slowly, not crashing, but descending. Like feathers soaked in memory, they drift downward and vanish into the violet beneath you. One star pauses before you. It flickers with a warmth not of heat, but of feeling. You reach toward it, and for a moment, it rests in your palm. It pulses once, twice, and dissolves like mist into your skin. The astral connection deepens. The mist around your legs begins to ripple. The silence beneath you is no longer still. A low, melodic hum rises, like the echo of waves that have never touched land. The ocean is near. You let your breath slow even more, and you begin to float, not just your body, but your mind. Your thoughts drift like leaves over water. You feel the pull of sleep, but it doesn't take you down. It takes you through. This astral journey has begun, and the ocean waits, not to test you, but to hold you. You are no longer just dreaming. You are remembering. Where you've always belonged, let yourself be still. Feel the cosmic light settle gently across your face. The stars are not above you anymore. They are around you, and they are watching over you as you drift deeper into the ocean beneath the stars. You are still floating, suspended between silence and sleep, between knowing and forgetting. Let your body melt even deeper into stillness. Let gravity loosen its grip on you. The physical fades. The astral opens wider. There is no rush. Your breath is slow, soft like the edges of a fading dream. You begin to feel something beneath you, a surface, but not solid, not firm. You drift downward slightly and settle upon what should be the shoreline. But there is no sand, no stone, no boundary between sea and sky. Instead, there is a pale stretch of glowing emptiness beneath your feet. It looks like mist, but when you place your weight on it, it holds you, not like ground, but like intention. Your foot doesn't sink, but it also doesn't rest. You are standing on presence, on memory, on stardust woven with dreams. All around you, the light bends softly. It curves toward the horizon, as if gravity here follows thought, not mass. You look ahead, and the horizon is not flat. It ripples, just like breath, just like time. This is the shore that isn't there, and yet, here you are. There is a faint breeze, but it carries no sound, only sensation. It brushes past your shoulders like a forgotten lullaby, and whispers nothing in particular. Yet your spirit understands. You begin to walk, but each step isn't a step. It's a glide, a merging between stillness and motion. The space beneath your feet glows with every shift, a pulse, a recognition, as though the world is aware of your arrival. You hear it now, the ocean, a low, rolling hush in the distance, not waves crashing, but breathing. The sound is not ahead of you. It's beneath you, waiting. Sleep begins to pull gently at the corners of your thoughts, not to erase them, but to soften their edges. You are not forgetting. You are becoming more than memory. The sky above begins to shimmer, and from it, strands of light slowly unravel, descending like silver thread, disappearing into the invisible water ahead. Your breath matches the rhythm now. Inhale, glide, exhale, feel. With every breath, the astral realm accepts you deeper. It does not rush you forward. It allows you to remember how to float. Let your shoulders fall. Let your jaw release. Let your hands relax. There is no need to hold anything here. Not fear, not expectation, not even the shape of who you were a moment ago. You walk until the nothingness beneath you becomes something more, not denser, not heavier, just deeper, and then you stop. The shore you were walking on begins to ripple, and before you, a vast violet blue surface begins to reveal itself, silent, endless, alive, the ocean beneath the stars. And soon you will step into it, but for now, just breathe. Let the ocean recognize you. Let your sleep deepen into something more than rest. You are not just a traveler here, you are a part of this place, and the ocean has been waiting for you. You are still standing at the edge, but edge is a strange word here. There is no line, no clear beginning, only a place where the glow beneath your feet surrenders to something deeper, darker, and infinite. Before you stretches the astral sea, a vast expanse of violet and indigo light, not flat, but undulating softly, breathing like a sleeping creature. And in this breath, you feel it noticing you, not as a stranger, but as one who has been missing. Take a moment to stand still. Let the silence around you settle into your chest. Above, the stars pulse gently, their light refracting on the ocean's surface in ripples of silver and blue. Each flicker is like a heartbeat. You forgot you had. You step forward. Your foot doesn't break the surface. It melts through it. There is no splash, no resistance, only warmth. It wraps around your ankle like memory, like a voice you haven't heard since childhood, whispering your name. You take another step, and the water accepts you completely. It does not cling. It welcomes. It is not cold. It is not hot. It is perfect. The temperature of trust. As your legs sink into the sea, you begin to notice something else. The ocean does not just touch your skin. It speaks to your sleep. It finds your thoughts, the loose ones, the tired ones, and begins to smooth them into calm. You breathe, and the water breathes with you, not around you, within you. It doesn't drown. It carries. Your body no longer tries to walk. It surrenders. Your arms drift out. Your head leans back. You are floating, not just in water, but in consciousness. This is the first contact, and it changes something inside you. A sound emerges, not a wave, not a voice, but a vibration, like a song half remembered in a dream. It resonates through the ocean, and through you, your sleep deepens, and yet you are more awake than ever. The sea begins to shimmer, not with light, but with thought. You see glimmers beneath the surface, shapes that are not quite forms, colors that do not exist in the waking world. They move like ideas searching for meaning. One of them rises toward you. It is shaped like a ribbon of starlight, long, fluid, alive. It coils gently near your chest, and for a moment hovers. Then it enters you, not through the skin, but through memory. Suddenly you recall something, not from this life, or maybe from a life between lives. A beach, a voice, a promise made to the stars, and the ocean hums, as if confirming it. This is not just water. This is the space between what is and what might have been. The astral sea does not reflect, it reveals. Your spirit relaxes deeper into sleep, not into darkness, but into color, into sensation, into presence. Let yourself be held. Let the water know you. You do not need to understand, only to feel. The stars above twinkle more slowly now, as if time has bowed to the rhythm of your breath. This is the first moment where your waking world disappears completely, and you become a dreamer in motion, floating within the ocean beneath the stars. And this is only the beginning. You are floating, but not through space, not through water. You are suspended within something softer than air, denser than mist, alive yet silent. The astral ocean holds you like a thought suspended in memory. Your body, now weightless, is no longer your boundary. Every edge of you blurs, expands, becomes part of the vastness, and the vastness welcomes it. This is not just water. It is liquid starlight. You feel it everywhere, not dripping, not pouring, but surrounding. It wraps around your chest with a warmth that feels familiar, like an embrace from someone you don't remember meeting, but never stopped longing for. The ocean hums gently beneath you, a lullaby with no words, only sensation. And inside that hum, you feel stories, not told, but felt. The color of the sea shifts as you move through it. Deep violet, glowing indigo, hints of gold swimming just beneath the surface. It sparkles, but not with light, with presence, and as you drift, something changes. You no longer float like a visitor. You are moving like a native. The ocean recognizes you. A soft current passes under your back, not strong, just enough to guide your direction. It doesn't push, it invites. You follow, with no effort, no fear. Your breath is gone, not lost, but unnecessary. You are breathing through your skin, through your spirit. You reach out one hand, the water curls around your fingers. It tingles slightly, warm, but also cool at the edges, like touching a cloud that remembers fire. And suddenly, you taste something on your tongue, sweet, not sugary, but clean, like starlight melted into nectar. You realize the ocean here tastes like comfort. There is no salt, no sting, only the taste of quiet things, of childhood laughter heard in dreams, of warmth held in long forgotten rooms, of forgiveness you didn't know you needed. You close your eyes, and now you don't just feel the warmth, you see it. Colors rise behind your eyelids, swirls of orange, lavender, soft crimson, not images, not memories, but emotions that glow. Each pulse of warmth wraps around a piece of you that once felt tired, lonely, small, and lifts it gently. You realize you are being healed, not by medicine, not by energy, but by recognition. The ocean knows your weight, the weight of your years, your breath, your regrets, your waiting, and it holds all of it without asking for anything back. This is what sleep truly is here, not escape, but return. The astral ocean isn't carrying you away. It is bringing you home. Above you, the stars begin to move, not falling now, but drifting closer. They gather gently over your body, each one finding a place, a memory, a thought. They don't touch you, they rest with you. You are not alone here, not ever. You begin to glow faintly, not from outside, but from within. The warmth of the liquid stars has entered you, and you have entered it. Sleep has taken you, not downward, but inward. And now you are no longer just in the ocean, you are part of its dream. The warmth has settled within you. The light of the liquid stars still glows softly beneath your skin. You are floating, not like driftwood or dream, but like thought. And now, something shifts. Beneath your back, the current steadies, not to stillness, but to intention, as if the ocean itself is asking, "Where would you like to go?" You do not answer with words. There are none here, only silence and trust. Slowly, you feel your body begin to rise, not pushed, not lifted, but welcomed. The surface of the astral sea begins to hold you upright, as if it remembers how to carry you, as if it always knew your weight. Your feet, now bare of all burden, gently press against the surface, and the impossible happens. You do not sink. The sea does not ripple in resistance. It rises to meet you. You are walking over water, but this water is not water. It is memory in motion. It is starlight made liquid. It is a reflection of your soul. You take a step. The surface beneath your foot glows briefly, a soft pulse of violet and silver light. Then another step, and again. The ocean responds, not with splash, but with recognition. It sees you, and for the first time, you see yourself within it. You walk not forward, but deeper. The horizon doesn't change, but the feeling within you does. With each step, you feel lighter, less like a body, more like a thought wrapped in warmth. The sky above flickers gently, stars moving in slow, poetic spirals. As if dancing with your intention, you pause for a moment and look down. Beneath the surface, you see no reflection, only light, and within that light, memories drift like fish, moments long gone, words unsaid, laughter from another time. They swim slowly, not to haunt you, but to remind you you are still made of every place you've ever been. You keep walking. Each step is an exhale. Each breath is a permission. You are not crossing the ocean. You are becoming part of its path. Your senses soften further. There is no smell of salt, but a sweet, clean essence floats in the air. Like air touched by music, the temperature never changes, perfectly balanced, designed not for comfort, but for trust above you. The constellations begin to shift. They arrange themselves into patterns you don't recognize, and yet you understand them. They are not maps. They are invitations to places that exist within your sleep, within your astral self. Your body feels like it's humming now, a quiet frequency that matches the ocean's rhythm. You are walking, but not moving. You are becoming. The water beneath you is no longer just a surface. It is a consciousness, an intelligence, and it knows who you are. Every step forward is a step inward, deeper into yourself, deeper into peace. And as you continue walking over the water, you realize something beautiful. You are not lost. You are exactly where you were always meant to arrive, and the stars have been guiding you here all along. Your steps slow, not from weight, but from wonder. Beneath your feet, the ocean has grown quiet, still, almost reverent. And then you feel it, not a sound, not a word, but a whisper. It rises not through your ears, but through your skin, like a vibration beneath your thoughts. A slow, pulsing hum that seems to come from beneath the surface, from deep within the astral sea. You pause and gently kneel down, your fingers brushing the shimmering layer below, and suddenly you feel it more clearly, not water, but intention. The sea is not reflecting, it's remembering. Beneath your touch, the surface begins to ripple, not outward, but inward, and in the center of that ripple, a voice begins to form, not in language, but in feeling. It says nothing you can repeat, and yet you understand. It tells you, you have been here before. A flicker of memory flashes behind your eyes, a time, a place, a dream that never faded. Your hand rests gently on the water again, and this time it answers back. The warmth grows deeper. The pulse becomes music, not melody, but memory in motion. You lean closer, and the whisper grows clearer. It shows you a moment. You, standing in light, your shadow dancing across waves that don't exist in the waking world. A presence near you, not a person, but a feeling made real, familiar, ancient, kind. The ocean remembers your sleep. It remembers every time your spirit drifted beyond your body, even when you didn't know it. And it never forgot. The whisper becomes more than a sound. It becomes a thread, tied gently around your chest, pulling, not hard, just enough to say, "Come closer." You take a breath, and slowly, you lower yourself onto the surface. You don't sink. The ocean receives you. Your legs float behind you, your arms out to your sides, and your ear touches the water. That's when you hear it fully. 1,000 voices, soft, gentle, layered atop one another like mist. They are not speaking to you. They are speaking for you, as if the parts of you that you never gave words to had found a place to sing. They sing of longing, of joy left behind, of small hopes you tucked away, and somehow the sea knows each of them. You close your eyes, and the sound deepens. It is not loud, but it is everywhere. It curls around your heart, and you feel it expand, not break, not ache, just open. The stars above dim slightly, not in sadness, but in reverence, as if even they are listening. You remain like this for a while, drifting, floating, remembering, until the whispers fade, not because they end, but because they've been heard, and in their silence, you feel something new awaken within you. Peace, not because everything is known, but because it's okay not to know. You rise once more, lifted not by muscles, but by trust, and you take your next step. The water whispers again, but this time it's quiet, because now it knows you're listening. The whispers have quieted, but their presence lingers, like warmth after sunlight, like a melody that continues long after the last note fades. You walk slowly again, but now the surface beneath your feet has changed. It shimmers more brightly, and within the glow, shapes begin to form. Not far ahead, beneath the surface, gentle movements begin to stir. Something is swimming below you. At first, it's only light, ribbons of silver and blue weaving slowly through the deep. But then, they rise, softly, curiously, not predators, not guardians, just witnesses. They glide upward like thoughts surfacing from somewhere you once forgot. These are not ordinary creatures. They are memory fish, and they have come to greet you. They gather slowly, never breaking the surface, their bodies long and smooth, glimmering like moonlight on glass. Some are transparent, some glow softly from within. Each one holds something, a ripple of emotion, a shade of color tied to a feeling, a silence that once had meaning. You kneel again on the water's surface and look down. One fish separates from the others and rises toward you. Its movement is unhurried, delicate, as if it's unsure whether it should reveal itself. But as it draws closer, you feel something stir inside you. Not recognition, but a familiar ache. The fish circles beneath you once, then pauses, and suddenly your mind is flooded. A vision, you, as a child, standing at the edge of a small pond. The wind is soft, your hands are open, you're waiting for something, and in that moment, you remember the feeling of not knowing what to wish for, the longing. Without a name, the fish below you pulses with light, as if echoing that exact emotion. You reach your hand toward the water. The fish rises slowly and brushes against your palm, and just like that, you remember the sound of someone calling you from far away, the way your chest tightened when they didn't return, the way you pretended you were fine, and yet, here it is, this fish, carrying that quiet heartbreak across oceans of time. But it doesn't hurt, not here. Here the memory is not heavy, it is gentle. It simply exists. You smile faintly, and the fish glides away. Another takes its place. This one carries laughter, warm, round, echoing like sunlight in a closed room. You don't remember the exact moment, but your body does. You feel your chest lift, The corners of your mouth soften, and for a second your entire being glows. Each memory fish brings something. Not all are bright. Some are dark, weighted, but even they are soft here. Even they are safe. You sit now, legs folded beneath you, hands resting on glowing water, and the fish continue to swim beneath you. A slow parade of emotion, experience, time. This is not a test. It's a reunion. You are not judged by what they bring, only reminded you have lived, you have loved, you have hurt, you have hoped, and all of it is part of your sleep now. Part of your astral self. Above you, a star falls softly into the ocean. It doesn't vanish. It joins the fish below. Even the stars carry memory here. And as you sit, surrounded by this silent ballet of remembrance, you feel it. Peace. Not because everything is resolved, but because nothing needs to be. You are no longer walking. You are no longer floating. You are simply drifting. There is no direction now, no current to follow, no voice to guide, only a gentle stillness and the soft hum of being. The memory fish have disappeared into the depths. The whispers have grown quiet. Even the stars above seem to pause, as if the universe itself is holding its breath. You drift, not forward, not backward, but inward. Each moment stretches softly, not because time has slowed, but because you feel no need to move, or think, or remember. There is a sweetness here, like floating in warmth you can't describe, like sleeping beneath the hands of something that loves you, without ever needing to say it. You blink, or maybe not. You're not sure anymore where your body ends. The sea is no longer beneath you. It's around you, inside you, of you. This is not water. This is rest. The kind of sleep that doesn't erase, but returns you to yourself. You hear something, faint, but not a sound. A silence that speaks. It says, "You've done enough." And for a moment, your chest loosens. The part of you that always kept watch, that always needed to stay awake, begins to let go. You are not falling asleep. You are becoming sleep. Your thoughts, usually sharp and restless, now move like fog, drifting, melting into nothing. And that nothing is beautiful. You try to name the feeling, but language stays behind. Only sensation follows you here. It wraps around your spirit gently, like soft cloth over tired skin, and you feel safe. Not because you are protected, but because there is nothing here to protect from. Even the stars no longer shine. They glow softly, patiently, like old friends standing watch from far away. You feel them, but you no longer need to see them. This is the part of the journey where everything fades, not because it is ending, but because it's beginning again. In this silence, you don't need questions or answers, only the breath, only the stillness, only sleep. You drift further and deeper until you can't tell if you're in the ocean or if the ocean is in you, and the silence cradles you like a story that doesn't need an ending because just being told was enough. You drift in stillness. The silence of the ocean still wraps around you like soft fabric, like time suspended in breath. Then something moves, but not around you, within you, and just above the surface. A soft shimmer appears, a reflection, but not your face. At first you think it's the moon, a soft circular glow resting upon the water. But as you look closer, you realize it moves with your breathing. It expands slightly as you inhale and gently contracts as you exhale. This is not the moon. This is your feeling, given form, a reflection not of light, but of emotion. You watch as the shape changes. One moment it glows a soft silver, cool, calm, distant. The next, it deepens into violet, heavier, warmer, more tender. It is alive and it is watching you. But it's not just watching, it's mirroring every breath you take, every pulse within your chest. This reflection mimics it all, not to repeat you, but to understand you. You lean slightly closer, and the image pulses in response, as though your nearness makes it feel safe. You don't speak. You don't need to. This is a conversation without words. You tilt your head slightly, and the reflection tilts too, but not exactly. It lags a moment, as if it's thinking, and suddenly you realize this isn't your image. This is your emotion, separated from you and made visible. You see it shift, now soft orange, the color of longing, now pale blue, the color of waiting. Then it fades into a deep ocean green, the color of peace, and it breathes again. Your heart responds, not with speed, but with stillness. You feel your chest grow warm, not from heat, but from memory. You remember a moment, perhaps long ago, perhaps just imagined, where you stood in silence and felt seen, not for your name or your words, but for the quiet part of you. This reflection sees that part and holds it without question. You sit now, floating just above the surface, your legs weightless, your body light, and you watch this glowing shape dance slowly across the water. Sometimes it flickers, sometimes it steadies, but always it breathes. You place your hand near it, not touching the surface, just hovering, and the reflection expands, welcoming your presence, inviting your trust. No voice tells you what to feel, but somehow you understand. This is your soul's shape. Tonight, under the astral sky, the sea has given you a mirror, not to change yourself, but to remind you you were never unseen. You were just waiting to be recognized. You close your eyes, and the reflection lingers, breathing softly, slowly, just like you. And for the first time in a long time, you feel whole, not because something returned to you, but because nothing ever truly left. The reflection fades, not because it disappears, but because you no longer need to see it. What it showed you now rests within, and as your eyes lift from the surface, you feel something shift, a subtle movement beneath your body, a change in the rhythm of the ocean's breath, not a current, not a wave, but a presence. It calls to you gently, not with urgency, but with invitation, like a thread wrapped around your heart, tugging tenderly. You don't resist. You don't even choose. You simply allow. Your body, still light, still adrift, begins to descend, but not as though you're sinking. There's no fear, no rush, just a softness, like a dream folding inward. You are being drawn deeper, not just through water, but through memory, through layers of self. The stars above begin to blur, their glow turning into mist, mist into shadows, shadows into quiet. You pass through layers of color. Pale lavender becomes deep indigo, indigo becomes midnight blue, and then a violet so rich you feel it rather than see it. The deeper you go, the warmer it becomes. But this warmth isn't physical, it's emotional. It fills your chest with comfort, your limbs with peace, your thoughts with quiet. You begin to forget not who you are, but what it meant to hold on so tightly. You no longer grip the edges of your identity. You let them melt, let them reshape, and the ocean accepts each part of you, even the ones you left behind. You begin to see shapes again, not clearly, not yet, but something down there, glowing softly beneath layers of light and time. Not a place, not a creature, but a presence. It feels like recognition, like something that has known you long before you knew yourself. The gentle pull becomes more defined now, still kind, still soft, but clear. You are meant to arrive here, at this depth, at this moment. You breathe, but not with lungs. You breathe with memory, with surrender, and with each breath, you feel more of the world above slipping away. Not lost, just irrelevant. You are not falling asleep. You are moving deeper into the soul of sleep itself. The pull leads you through curtains of light. Faint waves of silver and gold ripple around your skin. They whisper emotions you don't have names for, and still you understand them. A hush settles over everything, even thought, even sensation, until all that remains is your heartbeat. And even that slows, not to silence, but to sink, with something waiting below, something ancient, something gentle, something like a question you've always asked. And tonight, you are ready to hear the answer. Your body stops descending, but your spirit continues to move, not downward, but inward, as though you've passed through the skin of the world and now swim within its dreams. A soft glow appears far ahead. It pulses slowly, not to light the way, but to let you know you are being expected, and the sea around you, still and full of thought, watches you arrive, not to test you, but to welcome you. The water grows thick with color, a deep violet, so rich it seems to drink sound itself. You're still drifting, but now the silence isn't just around you, it's inside you. Then far ahead, a pulse, faint at first, like the flicker of a firefly buried in a fog of ink. It doesn't shine, it breathes. The glow pulses slowly, rhythmically, and you feel it inside your chest, beating in time with your heart. Or perhaps your heart now beats in time with it. You float toward it, slowly. The current doesn't push, it simply aligns with your intention. The light becomes larger as you approach, but not brighter. It never tries to overwhelm, it waits. There's no fear in you, only wonder and recognition. Not as if you know what it is, but more like you've always known of it. It hovers about the size of a lantern, but it has no edges. Its glow is soft, bleeding gently into the darkness around it. Colors shift inside, blue melting into gold, gold folding into soft lavender. Then, for a moment, a blush of pink that feels like hope. You stop, not because you choose to, but because it feels right, like a first meeting or a reunion. And in this space between you and the light, the ocean feels like it's holding its breath again. Then it moves, not toward you, not away, but around itself, turning like a thought forming inside a dream. You reach out your hand, slowly, without intention, not to take, not to touch, but to simply be seen. The light responds. It glows warmer, and the colors inside swirl faster, as if it feels you. and something inside it changes. The shape begins to stretch, gently, delicately, like it's waking up. And then your name. No voice says it. There's no sound, but in your bones, in the air around your skin, you hear it, your name, like a memory whispered by someone you trusted, someone who's waited for this exact moment. And you realize this light is not a being. It's not even a thing. It's a fragment, a piece of something you left behind, a truth you couldn't carry, a love you forgot to feel, and it's here, right here, waiting only to be acknowledged. You float closer. The warmth of it washes over your face. Your eyes sting not from pain, but from emotion. A tear escapes into the ocean. It doesn't fall. It joins the light, and the light expands. For just one breath, you are inside it, not wrapped in it, inside. And in that instant, you see a forest, a face, a fire, a feeling, and then just calm. No answers, only a quiet that understands you. You exhale slowly, and the light dims, not because it leaves, but because it settles. It has been seen, and so have you. You begin to move again. The ocean carries you gently onward, but the light stays behind, still breathing, still glowing. And somehow, you know, if you ever return, it will be here, still waiting, still remembering. The light behind you fades into memory. The ocean begins to move again, but not with waves, with intention. Soft currents gather around your legs, your shoulders, your chest, but they don't push you. They shape your movement. You're no longer drifting. You're being guided. And in that flow, you feel something watching, not like eyes, not like presence, like awareness. It's deep, not below you, around you. Within the very flow itself, the current tightens, becomes a spiral, and then slows. You are now inside a circle of stillness. Everything stops, and that's when it appears, not from the shadows, but from the rhythm. At first, it's just a vibration, a low pulsing thrum in your chest, then a shimmer. The water bends, not from weight, but from intelligence. A figure begins to form, but not in shape, in feeling, a twisting of light and gravity, a silhouette made from silence and time. It doesn't come toward you, it emerges around you. The currents hush, the stars above pulse once, then dim, and then you feel its gaze, not on your body, but on the part of you that drifts between doubt and wonder, the part you rarely show anyone, the part even you forget sometimes. And somehow, this being sees it all. There is no fear, only recognition. The water ripples once, and then the voice comes, but not with sound, not even with thought. It's a knowing, soft, ancient, and entirely present. You are out of rhythm, it says, not as a judgment, but as an observation, and suddenly you understand. This is the flow keeper, the one who listens to the tides of thought, the currents of soul, the waves of memory, the one who ensures balance, not control, just alignment. You try to respond, not with words but with feeling. A question forms in you. Why am I here? The flow keeper shimmers gently and responds, not with an answer, but with a sensation. Warmth on the left side of your face, coolness on the right, as if to say, you are between, and that's exactly where you're meant to be. The currents around you pulse softly. Your breath matches them. Your heartbeat aligns. And for a moment, you and the ocean and this being breathe together. The flow keeper moves now, not toward, but through. It passes over your chest, your head, your back, like a hand smoothing water. And with each pass, something inside you lets go. A regret, a pressure, a story you thought you had to carry forever. Gone, not erased, just no longer yours to hold. Then it pauses behind you. The current stills. Everything is weightless, and the knowing comes again. You may continue now. Not a command, not even permission, just truth. You turn, but the flow keeper is already fading, not disappearing, just returning to the flow, to the rhythm, to the silence. But its presence lingers, not around you, within you. And as the current begins to move again, this time you move with it, not as a traveler, but as someone who now understands how to listen and how to let go. As the flow keeper's presence dissolved into the deep and ancient waters, you found yourself floating once again, but this time not aimlessly, not carried blindly by the rhythm of the ocean, but with a gentle sense of direction, as if the sea, now familiar with your frequency, had aligned its currents with the quiet intentions buried deep within your spirit. The light that once guided you is no longer visible, not because it has vanished, but because you have become its extension. And in this newfound stillness, you begin to notice a subtle hum beneath the silence. At first, it is almost too delicate to be real, like the echo of a forgotten lullaby, trapped between layers of water and time. It doesn't come from above or behind, but from somewhere deeper, ahead of you, calling not to your ears, but to your memory. You follow with slow, breathless grace. You let the soft currents guide you downward, and as the darkness shifts into softer hues of blue and lilac, you begin to see them resting gently upon the ocean floor, clustered together in small glowing patches, or strange coral-like structures, spiraling, layered, and curved like seashells sculpted by a dream. They shimmer faintly with bioluminescent light, their edges pulsing gently in rhythm, as if the ocean itself were breathing through them. And then they begin to sing. The sound does not arrive all at once. It spills slowly into the water, soft like silk sliding across stone, carrying with it something deeper than melody, memory. It's not music you recognize, and yet your chest tightens, because it reminds you of something you once felt. In the quietest corners of your life, one shell emits a low resonant hum, like the echo of your name whispered in a moment of need. Another weaves through it a higher note, delicate and shimmering, like the memory of someone brushing a strand of hair from your face. And as the sound grows, layer upon layer intertwining with the next, you realize this is not a song for your ears. This is a song for your soul. The shells aren't singing words. They're singing you, your laughter, your sorrow, the nights you stayed awake long after you pretended to sleep, the afternoons where silence sat with you like a patient friend, the love you gave away without expecting it back. Each note carries a piece of you, not to replay it, but to soothe it. You drift closer, letting yourself descend gently toward them. And as you near, you see that the water around them shimmers not just with light, but with stories. In every reflection, you catch fragments of lives you've lived, some yours, some perhaps belonging to others, woven into the astral sea like threads in a tapestry, too vast to ever fully comprehend. One shell glows slightly brighter than the rest, its pulse matching the rhythm of your breath. You reach out slowly, not to touch it, but to acknowledge it, and in response, the melody changes. It grows warmer, rounder, wrapping around your heart like a memory you didn't know you were missing. You close your eyes, and in that moment, you are not drifting, not listening. You are the song. Your body dissolves into the water. Your thoughts uncoil. Your sense of self stretches like light through rippling glass. And the singing shells continue, not to teach, not to heal, but to remember with you. The silence you now float within is unlike anything you've felt before. It is not empty, not hollow. It is rich, thick with presence, as if the water around you has shifted from simple space into a woven fabric of memory and intention. You no longer feel like you are moving through the ocean. It feels as though you are gliding through the breath of something ancient, something sacred, and then, without warning, you sense a gathering in the distance, not of matter nor sound, but of light. At first, it is just a flicker beyond the reach of understanding, a ripple in the veil where the water folds into itself and glows faintly with hues not found in the waking world. Soft coral, violet mist, and a quiet golden white. It pulses slowly, not to call attention, but to signal arrival. Your arrival. As you approach, it becomes clear this is not a creature nor a construct. It is a passage, a portal. Its shape is undefined, ever shifting, carved not from stone, but from the gentle collision of light and fog. Edges curl into themselves only to vanish and form anew, like breath on glass that never clears completely. There is no doorframe, no lock, no barrier, and yet, you know instinctively, this is a threshold. The current slows as you near, as though even the ocean hesitates in reverence to what stands before you. The closer you drift, the quieter your thoughts become, until they no longer form in words, but in sensation, a warmth behind your eyes, a soft tightening in your chest. The familiar flutter of standing before something unknown yet deeply personal. You stop a few feet away from it. The portal does not speak. It does not demand, but you feel its awareness, not pointed at you like a spotlight, rather wrapped around you like a memory you'd forgotten was yours. A moment passes, or perhaps an entire hour. Here, time does not tick forward. It exhales. You extend your hand slowly, not to break through the light, but to acknowledge it. Your fingers hover at the edge where color and mist intertwine, and as they make contact, something inside you loosens. Not your grip on the present, but your hold on the past. The portal reacts with gentleness, its glow brightening just slightly. Not in intensity, but in intimacy. You feel it breathe, and then you do too, not with your lungs, but with your soul. You begin to move forward, not with decision, but with trust. Your body glides into the veil like ink disappearing into water, and the moment you cross the threshold, a hush settles through everything. You are not swallowed, you are received. Inside the passage, there is no direction. There is only sensation. You float not through space, but through potential. All around you, the mist thickens, curling like thoughts half formed and dreams half remembered. Light pulses gently, illuminating nothing, yet revealing everything. You feel yourself dissolving, not as a loss, but as an expansion. Each breath lengthens into something formless, and time itself curls into stillness. You don't know how long you drift here, but you know something is waiting on the other side. And when you emerge, you won't be the same. The passage behind you disappears the moment you leave it, not with a sound, not with a shift, but with the soft vanishing of a dream you never meant to wake from. You don't look back, not because you've forgotten, but because you've become something else entirely. Ahead of you, the water is still, but it is no longer ocean, not in the way you once understood it. It feels as though you are suspended in memory itself, not your memories, but the collective remnants of something older, broader, and deeper than any single soul could carry. And then the current finds you. It doesn't rush in or swirl with power. It arrives like a soft exhale from the sea itself. Invisible hands that curl gently around your waist and lift you not forward, but sideways. There is no direction here, no gravity, no past or future, just the steady, rhythmic flow of forgotten things. You float effortlessly, not because you will it, but because you have finally stopped resisting. And as the currents take you, you begin to see them, faint outlines in the water, not forms, not creatures, but traces of what once was, fleeting glimpses of laughter, moments of silence that carried entire lifetimes, hands held, tears fallen, choices unspoken. They drift by you slowly, like petals on the surface of still water. You reach for one, a flicker of amber light shaped like a breath, and for a heartbeat, you feel something, a deep ache, soft, not painful, like a goodbye that never quite reached its end, and then it's gone. Another current moves under you, lifting you slightly, not upward, not downward, but through. This movement has no map. It follows no path. It flows from meaning, not direction. You are no longer a body floating. You are a thought, a dream, a rhythm wrapped in memory. Somewhere in the distance, though distance doesn't mean much here, you sense the presence of others, not people, but consciousnesses, drifting, pulsing, echoing through this timeless stream. You're not alone, but no one is watching, because here, there is nothing to watch for, only the constant drift, the endless now. And in that surrender, you feel something rise inside you, a realization. You've stopped needing to understand, and in doing so, you begin to understand everything. The current becomes warmer, not in temperature, but in feeling. It wraps around your ribs like music, moving not your body, but your sense of self, and slowly, you begin to dissolve again, not into water, into knowing, into trust, into the kind of silence that doesn't ask to be heard. It simply invites you to stay. You let yourself drift, not to reach something, but because there is nothing to reach, only motion, only peace, only the soft, endless flow of things once loved, once forgotten, now simply being. Somewhere beyond the veil of memory, where the water breathes like a sleeping lung, you begin to sense a new rhythm, slow, quiet, yet laced with a strange anticipation. The currents that once carried you so gently now pause, as if holding back in reverence, as if something sacred is about to descend above you, or perhaps all around you. The dark velvet of the astral sea begins to shift. What was once still and infinite now trembles softly, like the skin of a pond just before a single drop disturbs its surface. And then, from that silence, they begin to fall. Not meteors, not fire, but stars, or perhaps not stars at all, but the dreams of stars, ideas that chose not to burn, but to descend quietly into the ocean of sleep. They come slowly at first, streaks of gentle light curving downward through the water with no urgency, no sound, no fear. Each one glows differently, some a warm honey gold, others a deep indigo, and a few shimmer in tones that don't belong to any spectrum you've ever known. Their trails linger as they pass, leaving behind not smoke or light, but something far more tender, emotion. You float beneath them, watching the rain of stars fall in slow spirals. And for the first time in this journey, you feel not like a traveler, but like a witness. This is not a path to walk, nor a gate to cross. This is a moment to receive. The sea no longer pulls you. It holds you, gently anchoring your body in a place where even gravity bows to wonder. As one of the stars drifts close, you extend your hand, not to catch it, but to simply share space with it. The star pauses just before your palm, hovering, spinning ever so slightly, its surface made not of flame or crystal, but of something that feels like thought in its rawest form. And then it begins to open, not like a flower, not like a machine. It unfolds like a memory. Images pour from its core in flickering pulses. A face you once knew, a sound you forgot you loved, a question you never finished asking. But these are not your memories. They are stories the universe left behind. Fragments of someone, somewhere, sometime, now entrusted to the sea. You breathe deeply, not through your lungs, but through your presence. And the star responds. Its light pulses gently, matching the rhythm of your thoughts, syncing with the quiet inside your chest. It isn't trying to show you something. It's simply letting you remember something you never knew you forgot. Around you, more stars descend, not in chaos, but in ceremony. Each one carries its own emotion, a song never sung, a tear never shed, a smile imagined but never lived. And somehow, they all feel familiar, not because they are yours, but because they are all part of something that includes you. The star before you dims slightly, not fading, but resting. Its light seeps into your skin, and you feel it settle within your chest, not like weight, but like warmth. And in that warmth, you understand something simple and immeasurable. You are not alone in your dreaming. This ocean, this sky, this rain of fallen stars, they have all been waiting for you, not to change them, but to remember who you were before you forgot to listen. You float there, bathed in the quiet glow of countless starlit thoughts, and you let the moment carry you, not toward something new, but deeper into what has always been waiting. Somewhere between the drift of forgotten stars and the silence of the sea's breath, you begin to notice a subtle change in the water's texture. It's not colder, not warmer, but denser, as though each ripple now carries a memory within it. The currents grow slower, not from resistance, but from reverence, as if they are gently guiding you toward something sacred, something that already knows you're coming. Ahead, in the soft glow of a horizon that seems to rise from nowhere, you see the outline of a shore. But this isn't the sharp, familiar edge between water and land. It's more like a suggestion, a gentle convergence of silver mist and quiet radiance forming something that feels solid. Not because it is, but because your soul recognizes it. You don't swim, you don't move. You're drawn forward by something beneath thought, beneath breath. A resonance that hums with your name, not spoken aloud, but echoed in the water's calm heartbeat. And as you drift closer, the shore becomes more visible, not through form, but through feeling. You begin to see colors that you cannot name, soft waves of gold touched by memory, shifting hues of blue that smell like home, light that bends not to physics, but to nostalgia. You realize this place doesn't exist on a map. It exists in your absence. It has been waiting, not for you to find it, but to remember it. You step not with your feet, but with your presence. The water gives way without sound, and your being touches the edge of the shore. Beneath you there is no sand, only texture formed from moments you once lived. The sound of distant laughter, the weight of a gaze long gone, the echo of footsteps you forgot to miss. And somehow it all holds you, without pressure, without expectation. It simply knows you're here. The light on the shore bends upward as you move further into it. And with each step, you feel pieces of yourself gently returning, not to remind you of who you were, but to reflect who you have become. There is no structure, no path, no walls, and yet everything feels aligned, as if this shore has always known your shape, as if it was carved from your silence. You kneel, not out of exhaustion, but because stillness feels like the right kind of movement now. Your hand brushes the ground beneath you, and it responds, not with sound, but with a soft illumination that pulses once, then rests. A warm sensation moves up through your arm, into your chest, into your throat. And in that moment, you feel it. This shore doesn't just remember you, it forgives you for leaving, for forgetting, for thinking you needed to become something more before returning. And now that you're here, there is no judgment, only welcome. You sit in the stillness, letting the breeze, if it can be called that, wrap around your shoulders like the arms of something that never stopped holding space for you. Time slows even further, and you realize there's nothing to do, nothing to prove. You have arrived, and for the first time, you are seen not as who you were, but as who you are. The shore behind you remains aglow in gentle silence, a sanctuary not of rest, but of remembrance. And as you take one final breath of the air that isn't air, you begin to feel the call of the water again. But it is different now, not a current beckoning you forward, but a vibration, soft, steady, rising through the bones of your being. You step back into the sea, and it receives you not as a traveler, but as someone who belongs. The temperature doesn't change, the pressure doesn't shift, but the light begins to move. Below your feet, or where feet would be, if such things still mattered, shapes begin to shimmer within the depths. They are not creatures, They are not ruins, they are crystals, and they do not glow because light touches them. They glow because you are near. The further you descend, the more vibrant they become. Pillars of fractured color pulsing with memory, facets carved from thought, edges softened by time. Some rise like towers, others spread like roots through the ocean floor, each one beating with its own rhythm, each one silently alive. As you approach the nearest, you sense something unusual. It reacts not to your presence, but to your intention. Without touching it, you feel it begin to change, its hue shifting from cool blue to a warm, pulsing amber. A sound vibrates in your chest, low, harmonic, wordless. It's not speech, it's recognition. You raise your hand slowly, reverently, and place your palm near the crystal's smooth surface, not quite touching, but close enough for resonance. The crystal hums, its light brightens, not in flash, but in depth, and suddenly, images begin to bloom within it. You see yourself, not in this moment, but in echoes. A younger version, a distant fragment. Moments you never knew still lived inside you. They flicker softly across the surface like ripples of light on calm water. And with each one, you feel something shift inside you. Not memory returning, but weightlifting. The crystal isn't showing you what you've forgotten. It's helping you release what you never needed to carry. All around you, more crystals begin to respond. Their tones layered, some high, some low, some so deep they vibrate in your spine. They sing together, not in melody, but in emotion. Each note feels like a part of a language you once knew fluently. A language not of words, but of presence. You drift slowly among them, letting your body weave through the fields of light and form. One crystal pulses when you near, a soft violet beacon. You pause, and again, without touch, it speaks. This time not in images, but in sensation. A wave of calm, a sense of being held, a whisper without sound. You have always been heard, and in that moment, a single tear escapes you, not from pain, not from sadness, but from the quiet realization that these crystals were not created by time. They were created by feeling. They are the stored echoes of everything that ever mattered to anyone who has passed this way. And now, they remember you, not as a visitor, but as one of their own. The light from the crystals behind you still flickers in the folds of your awareness. They are not forgotten. They never are, but their gentle hum fades as you drift deeper, following a new sensation. It is not a sound or a vision. It is a gravity made from presence, a pull that begins not in the water, but within the quiet spaces of your own thoughts. The sea here grows darker, not with danger, but with depth, as if each ripple of shadow is not emptiness, but thought suspended in waiting. You begin to notice the silence, not the absence of noise, but a silence with weight, a silence that listens. Something is near, not close, not far, just aware. And suddenly, without warning, the water grows dense with emotion. It is not fear or sorrow, it is recognition. From below, a shape begins to rise, not fast, not slow, but inevitable. You don't see it at first. You feel it, the size of it, the age of it, the stillness it carries like a cloak made of time. Then out of the darkness, its form begins to appear, massive, curved, ancient. Its skin is not skin. It is memory made solid. You are not afraid. You are not even surprised, because you know somehow that you have met before. This is the silent whale of thought. It does not speak. It does not move its mouth. It simply thinks. And those thoughts ripple through the water in waves too wide for language. You reach forward with your mind, not your body, and it feels you, not as a shape or a presence, but as an idea returning to its origin. You try to form a question, but words melt away before they are complete. Instead, you send it a feeling, a pulse of curiosity, of openness, of wonder, and the whale answers, not with an image, not with a sound, with silence, a silence so deep it feels like falling inward through 100 forgotten lifetimes. And within that silence, you understand the whale is not here to guide you. It is here to remember with you, to echo back the things you were never able to say, to hold the thoughts you were afraid to feel. Its massive body turns slowly beneath you, and as it moves, the water hums with gentle vibration, not threatening, not demanding, just present. It thinks again, and you feel it like thunder without noise, a thought so wide. It contains 1,000 emotions folded into one. And in that moment, you understand something simple and infinite. You are allowed to not know. You are allowed to just feel. You are allowed to float in the space between questions and answers. The whale passes beneath you fully now, and its shadow doesn't darken the water. It illuminates it because it carries not darkness, but depth. You drift above it, heart quiet, breath slowed, mind open, and as the currents begin to move again, you realize you are no longer the one being guided. You are moving with the ocean now, not because it tells you where to go, but because you trust the silence it speaks in, and the whale, it watches you go, not with eyes, but with knowing. The silence left by the great whale lingers like an aftertaste of something eternal, not a void, but a resonance still vibrating beneath your skin. You drift onward, unsure whether time has passed, or if you've simply moved deeper into its folds, because here nothing flows as it once did. The water around you thickens subtly, not with pressure, but with weight. The kind of weight that memory carries when it returns without warning. And yet nothing feels heavy. It feels suspended. You begin to notice how even your thoughts take longer to form, not because you are slow, but because thought itself stretches like golden thread underwater. Ideas bend into spirals. Emotions fold into echoes. And time begins to pulse. It does not tick or march or move. It breathes. Each moment is not a point, it is a rhythm. And you are no longer standing within it, you are dancing with it. The current no longer pulls, it sways. You lift your arms, or perhaps it is your awareness, and you feel yourself turning, not in direction, but in tempo. There is no music, but there is a pattern. You are part of something ancient now, not ancient in years, ancient in memory. Around you, the water glows softly and pulses, faint waves of iridescent light moving outward in concentric circles. Each pulse a question, each ripple a breath, and you begin to respond, not with answers, but with movement. You twirl gently in the water, not for beauty, but for truth. And the ocean answers. Its light shifts in time with your motion. A spiral here, a deepening shade of blue there, a rise in current that feels like a sigh. You are not controlling this. You are listening. You are not creating rhythm. You are remembering it. And with each subtle gesture, you feel something unlock inside you. Not a door, not a memory, a pace. Your pace, not the one the world asked of you, not the one time demanded of you, but the one that feels like home. You float, you turn, you pause, and with every pause, a new kind of silence greets you. It's not the silence of absence, it's the silence of understanding that you were never meant to outrun time. You were meant to dance with it, to let it show you that not everything has to be earned in urgency. That presence, stillness, and breath are also forms of movement. The light around you dims, then flares again. It isn't random. It's a pulse, a partner. And in that quiet rhythm, you finally release the tension you didn't know you were still holding. You let your mind drift with the next ripple. Let your chest rise with the next swell. Let your spirit fold into the space between pulses. And for the first time in a long, long time, you don't care where you're going. You don't care how long it takes. You are here, dancing, and time is dancing with you. The rhythm you danced with still echoes in the slow turns of your limbs, but something within you shifts. You are no longer moving with time. You are moving towards something else, something even more ancient. The water around you begins to shimmer with pulses not of light, but of meaning. It feels like sound, but it is not heard. It is felt, a vibration that enters not through your ears, but through your chest, your fingertips, your breath. You stop moving, not because you choose to, but because the water is speaking, and all movement becomes listening. Tiny ripples form around you in perfect concentric waves. They do not spread from you. They arrive to you. Each wave carries a frequency, and each frequency carries intention. You begin to realize that the water has always been speaking, even when it was still, even when it was silent. It was never empty. It was simply waiting for you to listen. A pulse reaches you. It curls gently around your wrist, lingers at your throat, and settles at the center of your chest. And suddenly you understand, not in language, but in knowing. The water is not asking, it is remembering. It remembers who you were when you first touched its surface. It remembers how your thoughts splashed like stones in a still pond. It remembers how slowly you began to soften. And now it speaks with you, not to give you messages, but to mirror your own truth back to you. You close your eyes, and you begin to feel shapes forming inside you. Not words, but symbols, curves of light, spirals of soundless intention. Each one lands in you like a note of a song you used to know. You respond without trying. Your thoughts shift in texture, from concepts to sensations. You think of a question, and before it forms, the water answers, not with facts, but with balance. A ripple surrounds you, gentle and wide, and you feel understood, not in detail, but in essence. You open your eyes, and around you the sea glows softly with countless tendrils of motion, each one a whisper, a sentence, a poem written not in ink, but in gravity. You reach out, not to touch, but to reply, and the water listens. It ripples with joy. It pauses with curiosity. It shifts with grace. You are no longer a guest in this ocean. You are part of its language now, and that language is not one of dominance or demand. It is one of invitation, of resonance, of presence. You breathe in deeply, letting the language settle into your spine, letting its messages rewrite your silence. You do not need to memorize this. You only need to remember how it felt, because now you will carry this language with you, even in places where water cannot flow, even in dreams where silence reigns. You will know how to listen. You will know how to speak without a single word. The further you drift, the more the world around you begins to dissolve into stillness, not the stillness of silence or emptiness, but the kind that holds 1,000 things folded into one breathless moment. You have left the surface long behind, left the stars and reflections, left the currents that once guided you gently forward. What remains now is depth, a depth so complete it doesn't feel like descent. It feels like surrender. The water has grown darker with every motion, but you no longer notice it with your eyes, because vision no longer leads you here. Perception comes from elsewhere now, from the space between your heartbeat and your presence. The currents are almost imperceptible, like slow thoughts drifting through a forgotten dream. And even your body, if it can still be called that, has softened into a shape of awareness. You don't float anymore. You exist somewhere far above. The light still flickers, but it's like the memory of sunlight through closed eyelids. It no longer reaches you, because you are meant to create your own glow now. And slowly something stirs deep within. It isn't a light in the distance. It isn't something waiting for you to discover it. It is a warmth building from inside, a quiet brightness blooming within your chest, not sudden, not dazzling, but inevitable. As you drift through the thick quiet of the deep, you begin to notice a glow expanding around you, not cast from a sun, not projected from an object, but emanating from your own center. It spreads like soft gold poured gently into water, and where it touches, the ocean does not resist. It welcomes. The glow does not reveal shapes. It reveals meaning. You begin to see not the floor of the ocean, but the layers of thought beneath it. Each movement of your light uncovers fragments resting gently in the sediment of time. Not ruins, not memories, but emotions that never had names, waiting to be witnessed. And so you witness. You reach with your presence, not your hands, letting the glow stretch outward like the breath of your soul. And with each inch it expands, you feel something within you loosen, not a burden dropping, but a veil lifting. The water becomes clearer, not in vision, but in feeling, as if the pressure of centuries is slowly uncoiling from around your ribs. And what replaces it is not relief, but recognition. This place, this moment, this glow. You have been here before. Not in memory, but in origin, before time pulled you forward, before breath tethered you to form. You were here. A pulse rises from the center of your chest, and the water responds with a soft wave, a resonance that passes through you without sound, without question. You are no longer exploring this place, you are becoming it. And the glow, it is not a light you carry, it is who you are when all else falls away. In the depths of this vast and quiet world, beneath layers of thought and silence, you finally stop searching, and in that stillness, you shine. There comes a moment in every journey when forward no longer means movement, where arrival is not a destination, but the soft and sacred acceptance that you are already where you're meant to be. And as you drift in the quiet heart of the astral sea, you feel that moment settle over you like the hush before sleep, not an end, but an exhale. The light you carried, that slow golden glow blooming from your chest, no longer radiates outward to find anything. It has found everything it needed, and now it simply rests, soft, open, content to just exist without reaching. Around you, the water does not move, not because it cannot, but because it chooses not to. There is no current here, no ripple, no pull of direction or destination, only a vast and perfect stillness, holding you in place not with force, but with welcome. Your body feels light yet anchored, not to a point, but to a state, a frequency, a presence that asks nothing and answers everything with silence. Thoughts drift through your mind like wisps of vapor, slow, unformed, unhurried, but even they begin to dissolve, not into forgetting, but into peace. You are not empty. You are full of absence, but not absence as a lack, absence as completion, as the space where everything returns home. You begin to lose the need to breathe, not because you are leaving anything behind, but because the sea is now breathing for you. Each wave, though imperceptible, feels like your chest rising. Each pause between them is your exhale, and you understand, not through logic, but through sensation, that you are no longer floating within the stillness. You are part of it, a note in a chord that has been playing long before your journey began and will continue long after you rise again. You do not speak because there is nothing to say, not here, not now. Even emotion softens, not vanishing but blooming into stillness itself. The joy, the awe, the ache, the wonder, they all dissolve into one singular, weightless feeling, presence, and you feel it wrap around you like warmth in a colorless light. Not holding, not containing, but remembering. You close your eyes, or maybe you already had, and there is no difference between inside and out. What was once your body now feels like a horizon with no edges. You stretch without moving. You breathe without lungs. You exist without time. And the stillness, it receives you like a long-lost thought returned to silence. Here, you do not think of the journey ahead or the path behind. You don't wonder where you are, because you are everywhere you need to be. And in that surrender, you find the purest form of motion, stillness that moves through you, stillness that speaks without sound, stillness that feels like home. You don't ask how long you've been here, because nothing about this place wants to be measured. Everything simply is, and so are you. No longer the traveler, no longer the seeker, but the breath between stars, the pause between waves, the space between thoughts, and you realize you were never trying to get here. You were always trying to remember how it felt to simply be. The stillness that once wrapped around you begins to shimmer with a new rhythm. Not a push, not a pull, but a gentle rising within. A lift that doesn't come from below, but from inside you. Soft, radiant, inevitable. You don't move because it is time. You move because the light inside you remembers how to rise, and the ocean, it does not hold you back. It releases you lovingly, slowly. The darkness around you doesn't vanish. It blooms into color. Soft indigo swells into deep violet. Dusky blues become radiant gold, and scattered across the endless sea of the deep, tiny points of light begin to appear. At first, you think they are distant stars, but as they drift closer, you realize they are not stars you're returning to. They are stars that have come for you. They swirl around you in slow, spiral motion, not circling you like a center, but welcoming you like one of their own. Each one pulses with a frequency that feels familiar, like laughter you've heard before, like silence that once held your tears, like a lullaby the universe hums in its sleep. You feel yourself rising, not through effort, not through motion, but through remembrance. You were never sinking. You were simply reaching the part of yourself that had forgotten how high it could float. As you ascend, the stars rise with you, or perhaps you are all rising together. There is no above now, no below, only light moving toward light. Your body softens into transparency. You begin to feel your edges blur into the stardust around you, and the glow from your chest joins the constellations in slow rhythm. You are not separate from the sky. You are a continuation of it. The ocean above begins to thin. The darkness shifts into shimmer, and through the veil of color, you begin to see it, the surface, but it is no longer a place to leave or return to. It is a mirror, a reflection of everything you now carry within. As your presence passes through the final layers of astral water, you emerge not with force, but with grace. The stars follow. They do not fall behind. They rise with you. You are not leaving them behind. You are becoming one of them. You look down, though there is no down, and the ocean still glows beneath you. Still singing. You smile, not with your lips, but with your entire being. And in that smile, the stars shimmer brighter, not because you're returning, but because you finally remember you never left. There is a moment just before waking when everything becomes soft, not blurred, but gently unfocused, like the edge of a painting that hasn't yet decided where it ends. And you are drifting through that moment now, not rising, not falling, just suspended in the breath between dreams and memory. The stars that carried you still pulse gently around you, but their motion begins to slow, not with hesitation, but with reverence, because they know, as do you, that something is shifting. The ocean beneath you is no longer dark. It is no longer deep. It is fading, not in color, but in form. The glow from your chest, once bright and solid, now softens into a fine mist, not disappearing, but returning to where it began. You feel the world above you stir, not with sound, but with invitation, a quiet call, a silent breeze pressing gently against the edge of your consciousness. You inhale slowly, not through your lungs, but through your soul, and with that breath something opens. A thin veil of warmth wraps around your form, like a blanket of light and memory. You are being lifted, not by force, but by permission. The dream does not push you away. It releases you, lovingly, intimately. You look back, though there is no behind, and you see the trail you left, not as footprints, but as pulses of light, moments stitched into the fabric of the astral realm. Every pause, every surrender, every breath you took while drifting through the depths, it all lingers, it all matters, and it will remain, even when your eyes open, even when your breath grows shallow in the waking world, even when time and sound return to shape your day. This dream will not vanish, because it wasn't just a dream. It was a place, a truth, a journey you lived with every part of your being. You begin to rise through the final layer of softness. The colors dim, the stars grow distant, the ocean fades into hush, and then you arrive not into brightness, but into awareness. You feel your breath return in rhythm. You feel the quiet hum of your room, the weight of your limbs resting in stillness, the soft texture of air against your skin. You are waking, but you are not leaving anything behind, because now the dream comes with you. The stars are in your chest, the ocean in your breath, the glow still flickering in the quiet place just behind your eyes. And as you open them, slowly, gently, peacefully, you realize you are not the same as before, because now you carry the astral within you forever.